Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to the first of many videos that are going to be talking about some of the new Mega Evolutions that are going to be available to us once Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are released. To start things off with this whole series of new Megas, we're going to be taking a look at Mega Sceptile. So let's get started by doing what we always do and taking a look at this Pokemon's typing, ability, and stats that change once this Pokemon is able to Mega Evolve on the field of battle. So to start things off, the first difference about Mega Sceptile that changes once it is able to get the Mega Evolution in battle due to the Sceptilite item is that it gains the Dragon typing in addition to its traditional Grass typing that we know Sceptile to always pack. Now this additional typing is both, in my opinion, a blessing and a curse. Curse mainly because of the fact that you now become 4 times weak to Ice-type attacks, which makes you extremely susceptible to being easily KO'd by Pokemon that pack the priority Ice Shard, such as Pokemon such as Mamoswine and Weavile. It also makes you additionally weak to Dragon moves and Fairy-type attacks, but at the same time it allows you to now 4 times resist Grass-type moves and Water-type moves, as well as Electric-type moves, but more on that in just a second, and it also nullifies Sceptile's traditional weakness to Fire types, because Dragon type resists Fire type moves, and so with the Grass typing and the Dragon typing, you take Fire attacks for neutral damage. But as for the ability, the one ability that you do get as you Mega Evolve is Lightning Rod, which allows Sceptile to not only be immune to Electric type attacks, even though it already 4 times resists them, but also gain a special attack boost every time you are able to successfully have Sceptile switch in on an Electric type attack. Now, in a sense, you could say that Sceptile is the ultimate Electric type Pokemon counter because of this, and because of the fact that, it also has access to moves like Earthquake and things like that. But in reality, the thing about this whole Lightning Rod situation is that I would say about 99% of Electric types also pack an Ice type move, whether it be in the form of Hidden Power Ice or Ice Punch or something like that. So even if you do want to try and predict your opponent to go for an Electric type attack, you do always have to be aware of the fact that they probably will be packing a 4 times super effective move against you, regardless of the fact that you're immune to their main stab attack. So that is something to keep in mind when using Mega Sceptile. As for its stats, after Sceptile does Mega Evolve, you will note that its physical attack is increased by 25 points, its defense by 10, its special attack by 40, and its speed by 25 points, essentially making Sceptile the fastest Grass and also Dragon type Pokemon in the game, having a speed that's on par with Excelgor. Now, with the increase in its physical and special attack, Sceptile becomes even more so of an amazing physical and or special attacker due to this, and it allows it to effectively run both physical and special sets extremely well, while also having the option to run mixed attacking sets even better than it was able to before, which is only amplified by the fact that this Pokemon gets a plethora of both physical and special attacking moves in the game. So with that, let's take a look at the first set that we were able to come up with for Mega Sceptile to potentially run in a competitive match. So for this first set, we're going to start off by making Sceptile into a pure physical attacker, by first giving it a Jolly Nature to increase its speed but lower its special attack, and using the ability Overgrow, as the ability Unburden before it Mega Evolves is completely useless since you can never lose your Mega Stone at any point. So for purposes of using Mega Sceptile, you should always go with the Overgrow ability on regular Sceptile, and that'll obviously turn into Lightning Rod once you do Mega Evolve. But for the EVs, we're going to put 252 into its physical attack to max that out, 4 into its defense, and then 252 EVs into its speed to max that out as well. And for the item, obviously going with the Sceptilite item to allow Sceptile to achieve its Mega Evolution. But for the moves, the first thing that we're going to go with on this set is going to be either Swords Dance to allow Sceptile to boost its physical attack by 2 stages, allowing it to do a ton of damage with its physical attacks, or making use of Quick Attack if you want to forego a boosting move to allow Sceptile to actually get some priority that will be very powerful due to its increased physical attack when it does Mega Evolve. But for the moves after this first one, we're going to be going with Dragon Claw, which is now a stab attack on Sceptile, which is really awesome once it does Mega Evolve, and using that in combination with Earthquake to get that really amazing almost unresisted coverage that you get through the use of Dragon Claw and Earthquake. Now, obviously, there are Pokemon that are able to resist this coverage, so with that, we are going to be adding a third move into the slot, which could either come in the form of Leaf Blade or Rock Slide. Leaf Blade obviously being another stab attack, which will give you an excellent amount of type coverage to allow you to hit a number of things super effectively, but also Rock Slide could be used as well in this last move slot to give you the famed Earthquake, Rock Slide, or sorry, Edgequake combo, which is basically Rock Slide in this case because Sceptile doesn't learn Stone Edge. But either way, it's amazing coverage and allows Sceptile, being a grass type, to hit many things that it is typically weak to, such as those ice types and those flying types and those bug types and many others. So it's a very good type combination for allowing Sceptile to cover its weaknesses very well, but if you want to go for another stab attack, you can go for Leaf Blade as well. Now, there are a few other options that could be used here, but they weren't necessarily as good as these ones, such as being able to run Thunder Punch and also being able to run Drain Punch for some extra recovery if you would like to use that. But overall, these moves listed here are pretty much what you're going to want to use if you want to use a purely physical attacking set for Mega Sceptile. Up next, we have what is a specially based mixed attacking set for Sceptile to run. So we're going to start off by giving it either a hasty nature to increase its speed but lower its physical defense, or a naive nature to increase its speed but lower its special defense. And for the ability, again, for the regular Sceptile, we're going to want to use Overgrow, which is going to obviously turn into Lightning Rod as soon as it does Mega Evolve. But for the EVs, we're going to put 4 into its physical attack, 252 into its special attack to max that out, and then 252 EVs into its speed, along with the use of the Sceptilite item again, because we do need to achieve this Mega Evolution one way or another. But for the moves, the first one that we're going to use this time is going to be Giga Drain, which is going to be our main stab special attack to use on the set that has a twofold purpose to not only do damage, but also to recover Sceptile's health every single time it hits with this move. And that's especially great because being a sweeper, you do want to try and keep as much health as possible, since typically, much like this Pokemon, they do not have amazing defenses to back up their sweeping stats. But for the next move, we're going to be using another move that is also now stab on Mega Sceptile, which is going to be Dragon Pulse. When this move is something that Sceptile always knew to begin with and was often used a lot of the time in previous generations as a way to allow it to hit dragon types super effectively, but because it now gets the additional stab on it, increasing its power, it makes using this move an extremely effective option when using a Mega Sceptile. But to go along with that, we're going to be making use of the only physical move on this set, which is going to come in the form of Earthquake. And this is going to be extremely useful for allowing us to deal with many steel types as well as fire types that we might be up against, and even steel fire types such as Heatran, which typically, if you don't pack Earthquake, is able to almost completely wall any Mega Sceptile set, provided you don't use Focus Blast, which is, if you look at the last move slot, one of the options that we can run here. Now, because Focus Blast is fairly inaccurate, being only having 70% accuracy, you could also additionally run Hidden Power Fire or Hidden Power Rock in this last move slot to allow Mega Sceptile to have a bit more coverage, and this is obviously extremely great, especially from the fire part, because this gives us another way to deal with steel types that Earthquake is not able to cover, such as being able to hit Pokemon like Skarmory super effective. Also, Hidden Power Rock can additionally be used for that extra coverage against many of the things that Sceptile is weak to, such as fire types and flying types and bug types and ice types. So those are all things to keep in mind when selecting this last move slot, but I would say that the first 3 moves on this set are probably going to be set in stone if you do desire to run an additional physical attack on your Mega Sceptile in the form of Earthquake to give it some really great type coverage. And as for this last set, this one was basically designed to be a way for Mega Sceptile to deal with some of the counters that me and my viewers on stream as we were building the set predicted were going to be a big issue for this Pokemon in terms of allowing it to be an effective sweeper. So for this set, we're going to start off by using the same natures as being hasty and naive, same ability for regular Sceptile, and same EV spread with 4 attack EVs, 252 special attack EVs, and 252 speed EVs as the previous set, along with the Sceptilite item. But the main difference between this one and the previous one is that the first move that we're going to be running on this set is going to be Substitute, which is a way to allow Mega Sceptile to get behind a protective barrier to shield it from attacks and statuses that would often prove trouble for it at the expense of losing 25% of your health every time you go for this move. Now, one of the main reasons why Substitute is so effective is because once you do have a Substitute up, it becomes increasingly difficult for your opponent to be able to counter Sceptile with some of the Pokemon such as Mamoswine or Weavile or Talonflame that would easily be able to deal with Sceptile without a Substitute up. And in order to capitalize on that, we selected 3 moves for the set that are easily able to deal with many of those Pokemon that could in turn prove to be threatening for Sceptile if it didn't have a sub up and have a way to deal with them with super effective hits. So the first one that we're going to be going with is going to be Giga Drain, which is again going to be a stab attack for Sceptile to use, with the twofold purpose of being an attacking move and also being able to recover health in the process, which becomes especially important on this set because we are losing health every single time we go with Substitute, so Giga Drain can help mitigate some of that HP loss. But along with that, we're going to be running HP Fire, or Hidden Power Fire, whichever one you call it, as a way to also have some good type coverage to still allow Mega Sceptile to do what it's supposed to do best in terms of being an effective mixed sweeper or special or physical sweeper depending on how you use it, but also because of the fact that Sceptile is weak to bug type attacks that would be able to actually go through your Substitute, such as from a Pokemon like Galvantula or Volcarona or anything like that. So Hidden Power Fire and also the last move on this set, Rock Slide, is a way to deal with some of those Pokemon that are going to want to try and bug buzz you because you're able to hit them for some super effective damage. But the reason why we're running Rock Slide in this last move slot, in addition to being able to hit bug types, is because of the fact that this will be 4 times super effective against Talonflame, as well as, Charizard or anything other than that, or anything else like that that would typically have some really good attacking moves to use against Mega Sceptile, but more so for Talonflame because it has the priority Brave Bird because of the Gale Wings ability. So Rock Slide is actually able to extremely easily just deal outright with or do away with Talonflame extremely easily, which is something that no other set that you can run with Mega Sceptile would be able to do, because unless you're running a Substitute, Talonflame can just easily come in on you and take you out, because even though you are ridiculously fast after you do Mega Evolve, the priority from Brave Bird is still quicker than you are. So Talonflame will either have to switch out or try and break your sub with Brave Bird, and then you KO it in the process with Rock Slide. So that is amazing for this set. Now, one of the big flaws in the set, though, that you are going to have to deal with is that this set has absolutely no way to now deal with Heatran, which the previous one did. So that is something to keep in mind because we are running Rock Slide over Earthquake. But if you are meant to basically be able to deal with some of Sceptile's counters, Rock Slide is still the better option along with HP Fire and Giga Drain. Now, in addition to these 3 sets that I showed you just now, there are also a couple of options that you could run with Mega Sceptile, but there's no real specific way to do it other than just the fact that you're running those attacking moves. So the first idea that we threw around was running a subseeding set with Mega Sceptile, because Sceptile is the fastest grass type Pokemon, so you're pretty much guaranteed to set up a substitute with this Pokemon and be able to leech seed in the process. Now, there aren't really any set in stone attacking moves for this set, so you kind of have to fiddle around with what you think is going to be the best options to run with that. But also, additionally, you could run another type of mixed attacking set that is more physically based, that uses either Leaf Storm or Hidden Power Fire as your main special attacks, along with the use of Dragon Claw, Leaf Blade, or Earthquake, Rock Slide, all those types of attacks that we kind of already covered in this video. So those are just some other options to consider when using a Mega Sceptile, but these are just these are 3 sets to kind of get you started with how to use this Pokemon and figuring out kind of where it fits in the competitive Pokemon environment. But anyways, everybody, that is it for this video, so I wanted to thank you all for watching, and as always, take care, goodbye, and I will see you all next time.